Okay. All right. Well, I guess in the interest of time, I'll get started. As was mentioned earlier, my name is Bill Moore. I'm one of the executive directors of the Institute for BIM in Canada, and we were asked to participate at this event today, and we were happy to do so. So I'm going to try and provide you with a brief overview of what the Institute for BIM in Canada is about, and then we'll talk a little bit about Building Smart Canada as well. So what's the intention? Let me ask this question. How many people have heard of the Institute for BIM in Canada? Okay, so we're not completely foreign to you. That's good. Basically, our mission statement is to lead and facilitate the coordinated use of BIM for the construction industry and the built environment within Canada. That's really what we're trying to do. This organization is made up of the following founding partners, which are the Association of Canadian Consulting Engineering Companies of Canada, ACEC. We've got CCA, which is Canadian Construction Association, RAIC, as well as Construction Specifications Canada, Department of National Defence, and Defence Construction Canada. Those were the original founding partners. What's interesting about this group of associations is the number of companies that are represented through these associations that make up IBC. So the CCA has over 20,000 member companies in it. ACEC has near 20,000 companies in it. RAIC, I believe I heard, was 14,000 registered architects. So collectively, we represent the industry. And so that's what we've been trying to do as an association or a group, is to take the interests of the industry and consider how BIM is going to impact that. So our structure is such that we have all of these steering committee members, which you can see the names. I won't read them all to you. But these are the folks that make up our steering committee. And then we have non-voting members as well that participate. What are we all about? So in our eyes, BIM, there's three parts to BIM in terms of how a country adopts it. And that's the business aspect of BIM, the cultural aspect of BIM, and the technical aspect of BIM. So the business aspect is things like contract language, things like the impact to business holistically. The cultural aspect, equal to that, involves business as well, but it has to do more with the human reaction to BIM and how disruptive it is to production, how disruptive it is to business in general. And then finally, we've got the technical aspect of BIM, which we founded the Canadian chapter of Building Smart International to address. So things we've been working on the business side of things, we've developed contract language. End of October, it will be released and available for purchase. So our contract addendum is not a contract in and of itself, but it is exactly what I said, an addendum. It will stand next to an ACEC contract or a CCDC contract, and it addresses specifically the requirements of BIM. Another thing we've produced and will be releasing at the end of October are toolkits. The toolkits teach you, they're PXP, Project Execution Plan toolkits, and they walk you through an example of how to fill out a PXP, but it does it with a complete commentary explaining to you why you need to fill out certain sections. And the binders are about this thick. So there's an awful lot of information there. We've created 3 volumes of them addressing an owner's view of a PXP, a contractor's view of a PXP, and a practitioner as an architect or engineer's view of a PXP. And so you can choose the appropriate toolkit and then work through it and see how to fill this out. Because a project execution plan is a requirement of our contract language. You have to have one. All right, so that's sort of the business piece of it. We also have the cultural piece, which is things like education. So we're working with academia. All the universities and colleges and the like are contacting us saying, do you have anything? And so we've been sort of pondering how we're going to address this. We haven't really figured all of that out, and then we come to learn that Building Smart International has some initiatives in place for education. So we're going to assess what they're doing and see how we can adopt that to the Canadian marketplace and our industry. And then the technology piece, as I mentioned, we have Building Smart Canada. So talking further about Building Smart International, are you guys all familiar with this organization? So it's made up, I've listed in very small print all the member countries there along the bottom. You probably can't read that, but there's many member countries that are involved. We in North America have two chapters. There's the Building Smart Canada and the Building Smart Alliance. So the Alliance is more of a North American / US representation of Building Smart International. And then we've got the Building Smart Canada chapter. We will be opening up, I believe it's the end of October, if I'm not mistaken, membership to Building Smart Canada. So now you, as individuals or companies, can become members of Building Smart Canada and be involved in the shaping of standards and the like for BIM implementation within our country. And we have, with our Building Smart Canada chapter, we have representation on Building Smart International. So we're able to influence what happens internationally with regard to building, BIM standards and the like. So Building Smart International is sort of focused on these 4 items. They've broadened their depth. Originally, they started out focusing on data exchange, moving information losslessly, if that's a word, from one application to another. And that has been achieved through IFC, and work is still being done on that, so it's not complete. The other thing that's being delivered or worked on is the IDM, so the Information Delivery Manual. So this is a protocol whereby practitioners know what they need to deliver and when they need to deliver it. So it's kind of like a project execution plan almost. And then there's the BSDD, the Building Smart Data Dictionary. Who's heard of this? Nobody's heard of this one? So David Watson, who's based out of Edmonton here, actually is a very active participant in the creation of the Building Smart Data Dictionary. And so what this does is allow specifications and callouts of features and components of construction regardless of the language barrier. So what we call a fire-rated door in Canada may be very different in another language or in another country or region. So the data dictionary is a means by standardizing those callouts across the globe and ensuring that the same product is identified irregardless of who specified it. And then the last thing is the BIM collaboration format, which is sort of a parallel data stream to the IFC that talks specifically about collaboration. So those are 4 of the major initiatives that Building Smart International is working on, and we have members of our associations that are involved in this work, and we invite many of you, or all of you for that matter, to become members of Building Smart Canada, because we can do this through crowdsourcing, and that's really what we lack, is we need more people participating, bringing perspective to the table, and then we can really shape what needs to be done for our country with regard to BIM. So the last thing, how much time I got left? Okay, so I'm going to focus a little bit on an event we've got coming up at the end of October here in Toronto. This is a really unique opportunity. What happens is Building Smart International hosts meetings in countries around the world, and Canada's been chosen as the host country for this meeting in October. So they're going to spend 3 days, I think, which is not open to the public. And all of these delegates from around the world, they're the thought leaders and the IFC programmers and, you know, the brilliant minds of BIM in the world are going to be meeting in Toronto. And so we, as IBC and Building Smart Canada, have created what we're calling an industry day on the 4th day that's open to the public. And the idea behind this is, since we've got this wealth of international knowledge in our country, how about we put on an event so that we as Canadians can learn about what other countries are doing with regard to BIM and this sort of thing. So I'm just going to Control H here. This is our agenda for the event. You can see we've got our keynote speaker is Patrick McLeamy from HOK. How many have heard of him before? Excellent speaker. If you've ever heard him speak, he's wonderful. We also have speakers from the UK government. So if you've heard of UK 2016, the mandate in the UK for everything to be BIM by 2016, we've got government representation here that's going to come and talk to us about what that means to their country. We've got people from Norway, from Germany, from the UK, and they're going to talk about publicly mandated use of BIM. And then we're going to add the Canadian perspective to it. We've also got presentations lined up from various other countries, as well as a panel discussion at the very end. And we have speakers from Canada. We're going to have Brian Oakley from Alberta Infrastructure, speaking on behalf of what the government of Alberta is doing with regard to BIM. So it's a really unique opportunity to hear what the world is doing with regard to BIM. And I invite you, if you at all can attend this event, it's a pretty unique opportunity. And so we would invite you to participate. So I tried to do this very quickly. I mean, I could speak for hours on these associations. So in the interest of time, I'll open it up to a few questions if there's any. Do you have questions about us? Yes? How to become a member? Well, like I say, the end of October, we will be opening up membership through our website. So if you go to buildingsmartcanada.ca, you'll be able to register your membership through there. Yes? I'm not at liberty to release that information right now, but end of October it will be available. Go to the IBC, so the Institute for BIM in Canada website. All of our published documentation will be sold through our IBC site and developed on the Building Smart site, with the exception of things like contract language and like that aren't technical. Other questions? No? All right. With that, I'd like to, I guess, thank you for coming and listening to what we have to say about the Institute for BIM in Canada. Please feel free to talk to myself. We also have John Hale here who's involved in this work as well. So please talk to either one of us if you have additional questions. And thank you.